to determine the new predator-prey connections between the planet's billions of organisms.
We seem to be experiencing some sort of cross-species dietary free-for-all.
Scientists say that the killing of the healthy, full-grown lion by a typical osprey specimen has lent credibility to recent reports of a deer seen grazing on a nest of squirrels in Wisconsin, as well as a claim made by a group of Japanese fishermen who say they witnessed 300 million krill devouring a 40-ton humpback whale. In other news, NASA acquires the moon for an upcoming Kennedy Space Center exhibit. A radio DJ invites the whole town to some bullshit, and assuming the many universes theory of quantum mechanics is accurate, the review you've just seen will remain relevant in another reality for all eternity. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Coming up, the first U.S. city to pass a ban on plastics. Specifically, the stuff that you get when you're out to eat. You know, plasticware and straws. So we'll tell you about that coming up here. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The Skype username, if you want to join us there, is lrn.fm. You can also call in on our Discord on-air call-in line. That is the first chat room you'll see on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. So once again, that's discord.lrn.fm. And joining you here in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
As we jump right into the news here from the Seattle Times Q&A, Seattle's plastic straw ban now in effect. Here's what you need to know. 10 years after it first passed, Seattle's ban on plastic straws and utensils is now fully in effect. We will explain what changes diners will encounter.
The world has been saved.
As of Sunday, drinks in Seattle will come strawless, unless you request one, in which case you'll find a compostable straw in your glass.
Okay.
The city's 5,000 restaurants cannot provide customers plastic straws or utensils. Seattle is believed to be the first major city in the United States to ban single-use plastic straws.
This straw has been made from 100% recycled diapers.
And utensils in food service. Question.
So, have any of you experienced one of these compostable straws?
No. Have you?
Long ago, I experienced paper straws.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
And they really suck.
So, like, foldy, bendy, gets moist? I mean, how does it...
Unrolls, like the whole deal.
It unrolls, meaning
a straw is made of twisted paper.
Right. So it breaks on you while you're using it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, it just kind of unravels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, technology's come a long way. There are compostable plastics now, or biodegradable plastics.
Have you ever tried to compost one?
Have you?
Yes. Yes, I've tried to
with
compost...
a biodegradable plastic, like specifically labeled as biodegradable plastic.
Yes, the Sun Chips bag. I attempted to compost this, and it would never break down.
Sun Chips bags are supposed to be compostable?
Yep.
They look like any other Doritos bag.
They're different.
Really? Isn't it Frito-Lay?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look into that one. I never noticed that. I've had Sun Chips before, and I've never noticed that about them.
Yeah, I don't eat them. My wife does, though.
So, question. Why did Seattle ban single-use plastic straws and utensils? Again, this story.
Seattle do anything?
Right. This is from the Seattle Times, by the way. Answer: the city hopes to decrease plastic waste and encourage conversation about environmental conservation. The 150 businesses participating in Strawless in Seattle, a campaign led by Lonely Whale, prevented 2.3 million plastic straws from entering the waste system last September alone.
Lonely Whale?
It's probably an environmental group.
Like the animal?
I guess. Yes, correct. But I haven't looked it up, so you're welcome to check on that. Question.
To just full disclosure here, I generally ask to not have a straw brought with my drink.
Why?
My wife too. Well, we went to the the turtle hospital down in Key West, and apparently turtles are dumb and eat straws. And
I saw a video online of a turtle with a straw in its nose, and somebody was trying to get it out of there, and it was really difficult to do that. I didn't understand how it could have gotten the straw in its nose in the first place, however.
It's amazing. They have stomachs full of garbage.
I saw that video.
You know, they have videos of this hospital where these turtles' stomachs are just full of garbage.
Okay.
They're opportunity eaters, apparently. They don't really know what they're eating. They don't have taste buds. They just job, and eat it, whatever it might be. So straw, jellyfish, whatever, they're going to eat it. And I just, you know, when I'm seeing this, of course, they're encouraging you to do all this greeny stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really like straws in my drink. I don't need a straw in my drink. I could just live without a straw in my drink.
Now, are you talking about at like a restaurant where you're sitting down? Or are you talking about like a Big Gulp or something like that? Because if you're taking a drink out, straws are fairly handy.
I don't generally get that, so, but yeah, I understand.
Me neither, but when people are taking a drink out and they're taking it in their car, it's probably better to have a lid and a straw on that thing.
Have water, and then you can get it in a bottle.
Sure, no doubt about it. I mean, water is the way to go. I drink water all the time. I'm just talking about other Americans and people who don't.
I'm not talking about other Americans. I'm talking about my habits with straws.
Well, here the city's concerned with everybody's habits.
I understand what the city's. I gave full disclosure was what I said. I don't use straws because I don't think I need straws.
I'm over here having horrific mad scientist ideas.
You also have a straw right now.
I also have a straw right now. Yes,
my son, by the way, when we go to restaurants, sometimes waiters and waitresses will bring him a styrofoam cup with a straw in it and with a lid. And that was nice when he was younger. Now it's getting a little ridiculous, but whatever.
So the mad scientist ideas that I'm having is there are supposedly these bacteria now that they have that can break down plastics, you know, enzymes and bacteria that'll break it down. In some cases, they're using this to like break down the petroleum products into fuel.
Interesting.
But what I was thinking is that, you know, I wonder what the byproducts of that process are, and, you know, the bacteria breaking down the plastics, because it would be interesting if you could somehow, like, encapsulate this bacteria in plastic itself and then release that into the oceans, let these animals then eat them, and then it breaks down, you know, enough in their stomachs to have them have the gut biome that can then break down plastic. Right? Like,
in a way that
happens?
Will keep them alive after it's all said and done.
That's what I'm wondering. Is that even a possibility? Or does it release fuel into their stomachs? Or
good question.
You know, bacteria that creates so much gas that you then have exploding turtles?
I would be curious as to how many times humans have decided, let's release this critter into this environment,
probably plenty.
And it's worked. I just want to know how many times it's worked, because I know that it is disastrous over and over again. I just wonder, as a percentage, how often it works.
We'll find a way. Jurassic Park in theaters now.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
I haven't yet either.
All right, so, but Mark, before we go on with the questionnaire here about what this means for the people in the city of Seattle, so you don't use a straw.
No.
Are you on board with the ban?
No. I think generally, okay, so here...
But this is for the turtles.
Here would be my response to that. My response is, let the government stop subsidizing petroleum, and then let's see what the plastics industry does then. Because
plastic's a byproduct of petroleum processing, right?
Right, it's waste, really. And I'm not entirely sure. Will it make them cost more? Will restaurants stop doing this? Because honestly, it's a habit. I mean, most of us don't need straws. If you're sitting, you know, at a sit-down restaurant and you've got a glass in front of you, and you're above the age of 18, you can handle the process of getting the liquid from the glass to your gullet.
Okay, but the city of Seattle does not have the ability to stop petroleum subsidies. So what about, you know, this is something they can do, right? Like they can help the turtles by banning plastic straws and banning plastic utensils. Isn't this a good thing? Don't we need government for this?
I don't think you do. But
it hasn't happened yet.
If Seattle was a private resort and decided to ban plastics within its resort, then I would support them.
I see.
But now they're not, and essentially some majority of people is forcing its will on a minority of people, as opposed to somebody who runs a resort being competed against somebody who has plastic utensils and plastic straws and those sorts of things.
What we really need to do is we need to ban the plastic straws, and then what's going to happen is we're going to end up with deforestation, because then we're going to make these paper straws, and so then we need to ban the paper straws. So then we need to make aluminum straws. Then we're going to run out of aluminum, so that we need to go on to going from aluminum straws to some other form of product. So because we know best. We're government.
Let's go all the way.
I'm not sure if that's an argument to absurdity or an argument of slippery slope.
Both.
Okay.
It seems believable to me.
It's a pretty absurd slippery slope argument.
Well, it's not really absurd.
I don't think it's absurd at all. This is just so short-sighted. It's just, it's just deciding what's best for everyone.
The answer is hemp straws. We're fine.
Have you tried a hemp straw?
Hemp plastic.
There is
one
hemp
of the
plastic,
plastics.
right?
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
I wonder if that's prohibited under this ordinance. We're going to learn more.
Biodegradable?
We're going to find out more about, I don't know. Is hemp plastic biodegradable? I would guess it is, but I don't know. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More about the ban. What is banned is the next question, and we will share that with you. And I bet you this is going to spread from here. It's not just going to be Seattle. Who's next? It's Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio waves. The toll-free number for you to take control of the airwaves is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is lrn.fm. Our Discord on-air call-in line room is also open for you. Discord.lrn.fm gets you there. Free Talk Live brought to you by Zencash. If you are interested in cryptocurrency, if you've gotten into Bitcoin and you're ready to get into some of the alternatives, some of the altcoins, Zencash is one you really need to take a look at, especially if you appreciate good philosophical underpinnings. In this case, these are voluntarists who created Zencash, people who understand the ideas of liberty and economics, and also they built in some of the best technology out there like zero-knowledge anonymity. So if you care about privacy, you also need to take a close look at Zencash. The white paper is available for you over at zencash.com. They've got over 12,000 secure nodes, making them one of the most secure networks on the planet as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned. So go and learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. As we continue here talking about the breaking news from yesterday out of Seattle, the very first city in the United States, and I wouldn't expect them to be the last one because it was actually New York City or Manhattan or one of them that was looking at doing this as well. I think that was when we talked about it, was when New York was looking at it. And it wouldn't surprise me if you saw this spread to California relatively quickly, possibly Portland. But it's apparently taken 10 years for it to go into effect. So this was passed a decade ago, according to the Seattle Times. It is now, as of yesterday, as of Sunday, fully in effect. It affects the city's 5,000 restaurants, which cannot provide customers plastic straws or plastic utensils. Here is a list of what is banned, according to the Seattle Times' Sarah Wu. Food services businesses are no longer able to provide plastic straws and utensils, including forks, spoons, knives, and cocktail picks. Instead, on request, they may provide approved compostable alternatives for dine-in service and compostable or recyclable takeout packaging. Though compostable plastic straws are allowed, environmental groups advocate using compostable paper-based straws, which, Mark, you say you've tried and they suck.
Yeah, that's true.
Counted among food services businesses are restaurants, delis, coffee shops, food trucks, cafeterias, and grocery stores. So there you go. Basically, any kind of plastic utensil that you might have received if you are taking food out of a place is going to be prohibited under this new ordinance that is now in effect, which started on July 1st. Businesses were expected to use their existing inventory of plastic utensils and straws up before that date. Those that could not could contact Seattle Public Utilities to discuss a, quote, compliance schedule, unquote. The ban comes after a decade after the city first adopted an ordinance in 2008 to require that all one-time use food service items be recyclable or compostable. The use of styrofoam packaging in food service was banned in 2009. Food service businesses were required to use compostable.
Do you remember when everything was made out of styrofoam? Back when
everything?
So many things.
So many things.
Like what?
Chlorofluorocarbon scare. Do you remember this?
Vaguely. CFCs, yeah.
Do you remember what they were going to do?
Didn't they ban Freon because of that?
That too, yep. It was the hole in the ozone layer.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember all that. Yeah.
I don't really know whatever happened.
What happened to the hole in the ozone?
The hole in the ozone layer. I don't have an answer for you.
I bet the internet knows.
It slowly healed itself, supposedly.
Yeah, you'd think.
I don't think it's completely supposedly healed. But.
You'd think.
You never hear about it anymore.
You'd hear about this, and that probably styrofoam use worldwide is not that much lower than it was, and Freon use is probably. I mean, I don't know about the old Freon, but probably there's a lot more cars in the world than there were 20 years ago. 25 years
ago.
ago.
Well, there are some stories that have said that the hole in the ozone had absolutely nothing to do with it.
There's that too, but you just don't hear about it anymore.
Headline from NASA Newsweek earlier this year, January 5th. Hole in Earth's ozone layer finally closing up because humans did something about it. Now, that's the headline. I don't know what the actual story says. Anyway, back to more details on Seattle and their plastic ban. Again, they banned styrofoam packaging in 2009. They were required to use compostable or recyclable food serviceware in 2010, provide recycling and compost bins, and sign up for collection service. Seattle Public Utilities exempted plastic utensils and straws due to a lack of compostable alternatives. Now that the market has caught up, that exemption is expiring at the end of June. What is not covered? Answer: flexible plastic straws can be provided to customers who need a straw because of medical reasons. Question: what happens if my business or businesses don't comply? Answer: they may face a fine of up to $250. However, Seattle Public Utilities
You could believe the straw police will be out in full force, too.
The spokesbureaucrat for Seattle's Public Utilities Commission says the focus this upcoming year will be on, quote, continuing outreach and assistance to businesses to help them come into compliance rather than enforcement. So they're going to give you a warning up front, Mark, and then...
as they always do.
After that,
that's how
the hammer will come down.
That's how the frog is slowly boiled. Yep. Yeah. You know, I like that so many businesses now don't have smoking. I really like that. But I would never advocate for those businesses not to be able to provide their services to smokers. I think that ultimately your business is your business. You get to decide how it's going to be run. And you get to decide who the customer base is. If you want to have a smoky place that serves stuff with everything's got to have a straw stuck in it, well, fine. That should be your business. I probably won't go there because it's gross. But
well, the argument would be that if your business is open to the public, you don't get to decide. You have to serve everybody. You've got to serve the public.
Sure, that's the argument. And I don't like this red hen bar thing that went on near Washington, D.C.
Red hen bar? What is that?
There's Red Hen Restaurant, I believe is what it's called. Some politician's bureaucrat, some appointed official was kicked out of a restaurant for being a Republican.
Okay.
Is what I understand. I didn't look that much into it because, I stuck my finger in the air and realized I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
But I think
should be able to kick out whoever you want.
You should be able to kick whomever you want out of your business for reasons of politics, for reasons of bigotry, for reasons of ignorance, for all kinds of reasons. People need to be able to compete in the marketplace to provide whatever service is good. If you don't think that'll work, you don't believe in people. You think that people are bad, and that's fine. But I don't.
What if you're a real estate agent? Because that's where this argument always goes to.
What do you mean? Yeah.
What if you're, part of real estate for a place? This comes down to licensure and whatnot. But in an area where, you don't sell to black people, you're redlining. The practices that, result in, greatly racializing and segregating populations.
I have a great answer for this because it happened to me.
Okay.
At one point, I was looking at a piece of property and just wanted to see what would happen if I put in a lowball offer. Did it in the name of the Shire Free Church, and that offer was rejected once they found they figured out very quickly it's those crazy libertarians. We don't want to sell to them. Now that means that essentially, from a religious standpoint, I was discriminated against, and well. There were processes within the real estate system. I'll go on with the story here.
All right, more in moments. Your calls and thoughts. You're certainly welcome. Our numbers, 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Coming up, we'll also talk about sex work and psychopaths.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at byln.co. That's byln.co.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Anyone can publish on the internet, but not everyone is publishing material suited for online reading. According to the Yahoo Style Guide, it cautions that internet content has a few seconds, 3 or less, to encourage people to read more, to take action, or navigate to another one of your pages. So make it easy for readers to pick and choose. Isn't that the way you poke around online? Use short words, short sentences, short paragraphs, bulleted lists, and short pages. Front load what you write, putting the most important information at the beginning of headlines and paragraphs and sentences. Same goes for your keywords, what someone would likely type into the search box on Yahoo or Google. For more tips on communicating better online or in a job interview or everyday life, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves here. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. We're talking about the plastic straw ban. Mark, you were in the middle of telling us a story, and we're going to pick up on that coming up here in moments. Also, want to make sure you know about the Tom Woods podcast. There's libertarians became aware of Tom Woods. A lot of them did during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written over a dozen books, including A Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. And since September of 2013, Tom has been putting out The Tom Woods Show every single weekday, which is an incredible level of dedication to the craft of creating a radio show podcast. So he's got over 1,200 episodes, or approximately 1,200 episodes so far, including guests like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more, with topics like war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians, like you perhaps. Find The Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. So, Mark, you were telling us about a real estate situation that you had made an offer on a piece of property under the name of the Shire Free Church, which is your church and my church, and that the person who was looking at the offer rejected it because it was from the Shire Free Church, because they were libertarians.
You were involved in it, so maybe you could correct me on anything that I was wrong on. But basically, the real estate agent told the buyer, oh my God. Now remember, the buyer was selling a piece of land, but that land was directly attached to that buyer's current house.
That's right, yep.
So the buyer basically said, I don't want those people living near me. And this was, because it was the name of the Shire Free Church, one could call it a religious, discrimination. The realtor was shocked. She, being a free stater, libertarian,
our realtor.
Yeah, our realtor was shocked that this occurred and went through the process of sort of scolding the other realtor in this deal. And I don't know whatever came of it.
We did not request her to do that, by the way. I'd just like to point that out.
I didn't. I neither stopped nor requested, but I think that it's a private means, and that is highly unprofessional. If this person receives a professional reprimand for unprofessional behavior, I have no particular problem with that. So, I mean, more or less, that's my answer to the question, Johnson.
What was the question?
If redlining occurs, and redlining doesn't always have to be against black people, but it's discriminatory practices within business occurs, I know how I'll deal with it because I've been discriminated against based on my moral beliefs. I've seen it happen.
Absolutely. And people should be free to discriminate in the marketplace and respond to that discrimination in market-based ways, like boycotts. For instance, if you find out that a business is behaving badly, then don't give them your business and actively tell other people why they shouldn't either. If they're your friends and they respect what you have to say, they might come on board with the boycott. It depends on how offensive whatever it is the business is doing.
Right.
Happens to be. So if you want to comment,
I was going to say, this is all presuming, though, that there is no, this requires that there is no overarching government that's limiting speech, limiting those behaviors, limiting the ability to actually engage in market-based activities rather than, enforcing some sort of silence or some sort of laws that say, well, you can't say anything about this or, this sort of activity, because that can happen too.
Well, and to tie this back around to the Seattle story, where they've now banned plastic straws and plastic utensils after a 10-year window, basically, of ever-increasing restrictions, they're now straight-up banned. The argument, of course, would be that, well, this is good. This is, we're using the government for good here. I mean, who could argue that poor little turtles should have plastic straws shoved up their noses? Or eating them, as you said, Mark. Apparently these things just gobble up anything that comes in front of them.
Yeah, like Pac-Man.
And, who could argue in favor of harming these poor ocean animals? I mean, you libertarians are a bunch of heartless people, aren't you?
The thing is you never know what the unintended consequences are. And I wouldn't advocate for this policy because I don't know what it means to Seattle businesses to ban their ability to use straws.
It's not about what the Seattle businesses want. It's about the little animals that are being hurt by these straws. You don't care about animals.
The reason I wouldn't advocate for this, although I don't do it myself, is Look, if you care about animals, go pick the straws out of garbage in other towns besides Seattle. Why do you
that's why we have government, so we can not have to go pick through garbage. We can just stop it at the source. Stop having these restaurants buying all of these straws unnecessarily. You want a straw? You can request a straw, and you get a compostable straw. If it gets the liquid into your mouth, what's the big deal?
If I give away plastic straws at my business, if I have these little bindi straws that somebody needs for a medical condition, and I say, meh, that looks like a medical condition, and I just hand them out willy-nilly.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if you're the straw police?
Write you a ticket.
Oh.
We'll take it up in court. We'll see what the judge thinks.
What are you going to do if I tell the judge, this is America and we're free to have straws, and I don't care what your straw police say?
Objection. Irrelevant.
That's all. I'm not paying your fine, Your Honor. Here, take a straw up your anus, Your Honor. I don't give a flying flip and a rolling donut.
Put this man in prison.
You're going to put me in jail over a straw?
No, it's over your language, sir. This is contempt of court.
Wait.
I'm a judge.
I came here about a straw.
Okay, well, you need to control your language. You're under contempt for 7 days. Lock him up.
There you go. Well, I'm not going with you. And I'm going to use jujitsu on your bailiff.
That's another 30 days.
That's a broken arm on your bailiff.
That's 180 days, sir. 180 days. Take this man out of my courtroom.
That's what I'm saying. Violence leads to violence. These people are the centrifuge of violence. They just create more and more of it. If you want to protect turtles, you need to stop using violence to do it.
So what you're saying is that violence backs all government programs, is what
That's
you're saying?
That's what it is. It's an organization that claims a monopoly privilege on the use of violence in a given landmass. If you don't believe me, look up Barack Obama, monopoly on violence on the internet.
Okay, well, it's the best system we have, Mark. This is the way that we can help the poor little animals. What's a little violence? If it stops a bunch of turtles from getting straws up their nose, then isn't a little violence worth it?
I don't know. Is it worth it to you?
I mean, most people aren't going to have violence used on them. They're going to have a $250 fine if they're caught violating the ordinance, and then they'll pay the fine and they'll get their S together.
Yep, that's probably what's going to happen.
So nobody's going to go to jail over this. Everybody's just going to obey.
You're probably right.
Every business owner's just going to do what they're told because we've all entered into a state of society, Mark, and we've agreed to this. And the folks
Well,
in
we didn't
Seattle,
agree to it. That's nonsense.
Well, if you're still in Seattle, you must agree to it, right?
Oh, I have to leave because you passed some new ordinance? Is that what agreement is to you? So if I decide to impose a polyamory on my household, my wife agrees to it or leaves. Is that how it goes?
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm sure she's going to. Then do I agree to her taking half of my stuff?
It's a free country. You can do whatever you want to do.
What do you mean by that? You can force other people to not give out straws? Look, the idea that the social contract exists is ridiculous. I mean, only a fool would believe it at this point. You don't enter into a contract where one party can change the terms anytime they want without it ever being written down and ever being clear. That's not a contract. That's just tyranny. Okay?
Right.
So
I've done my best to channel Heather from Thursday night, so I'm exhausted.
If you want to use, if you want to use violence to enact your turtle straw ban, I mean, I get it. What's happening in New Hampshire? Mostly everything's fine after the smoking ban. We still have businesses. We still have bars. People go outside and smoke in the cold rather than smoking inside. I mean, obviously, some bars would have smoking if they could because they would prefer to do that, but they don't. And, all right. I mean, life in America continues to go on.
See, isn't that why we need government to push ahead on some issues that the market just isn't willing to move ahead with?
I don't think you have any clue what the market can handle and what it can't. That's why I don't trust you.
I don't trust government.
The market.
Wait, you don't trust the market or the state?
I trust the market. I don't trust the government to decide what the market can't handle.
All right, you came up with some good answers here tonight. 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. Sex work on the way here on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Free Talk Live.
You're privileged to drive the road. You must follow the laws.
No, I don't have to.
And you're going to double park and you're going to make a left-hand turn in front of a cop?
Can I respond to you here, Barbara?
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to run a red light in front of a cop because he has a gun and is willing to hurt me, but I've run plenty of...
Wrong. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to give you a ticket.
Oh, but if I decide not to pull over, what will he do?
Well, you're not obeying the law.
Barbara, I don't obey arbitrary words written down by strangers. I obey natural law, Barbara. That means if I do something, I expect consequences will come from that. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You run a red light, somebody comes around and you kill him.
I would never run a red light like that. When I run a red light, I stop first, look around, make sure no one is in danger, and then I go through.
Oh, you are such a phony.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, you dial toll free, bring up what you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, some news from the Libertarian Party, which there's really usually not much worth talking about with the Libertarian Party. But Johnson, you had a story tonight about their new decision regarding sex work and their party platform and what makes that, I guess, unique. So we can talk about that and also the toll-free number here if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE like freedom and 855-450-3733. Plus, there's the LRN.FM username on Skype with which you can connect, and also our Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm. What is Discord? It's a chat server. So for those of you who would like to interact with other Free Talk Live listeners, it's probably the best place to go and do that. Of course, there is our Twitch chat as well on our Twitch stream, but there aren't really that many people in there. If you want the best action for chat, you got to go into our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. There are different channels. So there's one for Free Talk Live. Great place to be in while we're live on the air. But there are other channels like cryptocurrency, gaming, and others. Go and check it out over at discord.lrn.fm. It is free to use, and there's apps for pretty much every phone and operating system out there. So, once again, toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. Johnson, before we get into the story from Reason.com that you brought in here tonight about the sex work news,
sure.
You mentioned to me off the air that LibertyMinded.com, which is your clothing site where people can get not only Free Talk Live official gear, but also other cool Liberty and cryptocurrency-friendly apparel. There's news. What's going on over there?
So, we had talked a little while ago about how the printer who I was working with, or one of the printers, blocked one of my shirts because they were very, very afraid of the intellectual property police coming after them. And
unnecessarily afraid.
Right, because of the likeness in appearance of, a parody shirt that I did, which is specifically needs to come close to the likeness of what is being parodied.
Wouldn't be much of a parody.
Because it's a parody.
Right.
So they don't like parodies because they're too afraid that they might, encounter some legal trouble.
We're just out of the parody market, sorry.
You kicked them to the curb and you found somebody new.
Well, partially, I haven't made a full transition yet because it's going to take a little time.
Mm-hmm.
But I have found somebody new, and that shirt is now available.
It's called Fedora the Explorer.
That's right. So it's for distribution hoppers who are on Linux. But
it's
I also
for Linux geeks.
Yeah, Linux geeks. That's right.
The Red Hat geeks, right?
That's right. So, there's different distributions, but I also have a new shirt. So the new shirt that I have, I may want to make it into like some kind of a series. I'm not really sure. But essentially the tagline here is, and I might be willing to change the shirt a little bit, but essentially the back of the shirt is, if the light bulb, the telephone, and the transistor were only entitled to 17 years of patent protection, why does the entertainment industrial complex think that copyrights on music, television, and movies should be extended to 144 years?
Because they have more intellectual sway in Washington, D.C.
Because they can get it.
They have more connections, and they got more money that they're
There's
throwing
nobody
at it.
who's trying to sell a product out there that doesn't want exclusivity.
So that's the back of the shirt, and the front says intellectual property is information slavery.
Intense.
So that's what I'm going for, is just a little anti-intellectual property shirt. And
I'm not sure I agree entirely with the sentiment, but that's fine. I mean, we have private intellectual property solutions all the time. So, for instance, a salesman might get a particular area to sell a particular product from a company, right?
Okay.
So if you're a salesman selling widgets and you're like, oh, I've just been given the entire New York region.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's essentially... That's an intellectual property. That's an exclusivity agreement.
That's an exclusivity agreement. Yeah, that's a territory within a private company. That's not the same thing as intellectual property.
Fine. Can I keep a secret? Am I allowed to keep a secret?
That's up to you.
Okay. Then that's what intellectual property is.
No, it's not. Intellectual property is the government using violence to enforce a idea as to whether or not that idea can be copied. That's what that is. That's what intellectual property is.
Intellectual property laws that surround intellectual property. Okay, so there's property, and we all agree on that. There's intellectual property, and we don't all agree on that.
Yeah, you're claiming it exists. I'm saying it doesn't.
I say it exists, and that humans, like, for instance, if I tell a joke on air from somebody in the Discord chat, and then I don't say, oh, well, Ala Loca mentioned that joke, and I just told it, she's going to kind of feel like, he told my joke.
Yeah, that's
good.
tacky.
And it's bad, right? It's tacky.
Yeah.
So you acknowledge that there's some level of sort of understanding of property rights surrounding that intellectual
No, it's not property rights. You can borrow the joke, and you can copy it as many times as you...
I mean,
you've borrowed it because she still has it. You've copied the joke.
Copied it
because she still has it. She can still tell the joke. You can tell the joke.
Which is a pejorative. Copycat's a pejorative.
Right. What you're describing is a social faux pas. You're describing a mistake that somebody would make socially if they wanted to be in a person's good graces.
I didn't claim otherwise.
Okay, but that's different than intellectual property.
Well, but I don't understand what you mean. Intellectual property is a feeling. Property is a feeling that I have, right? Like there's a vehicle that sits out. It's a belief. Yeah. There's a vehicle that sits out in front of the studio. If somebody takes it, I'm going to feel very badly. They can take all the other vehicles, but not that one. That's what I think. So when it comes to the joke, a la Loca, it's like, use all the jokes you want. Don't use my joke. That's sort of what it means.
The only way you can prevent somebody without the government to threaten someone, the only way you can prevent someone from using your joke is to never tell it.
You could have a user agreement.
That's ridiculous, and you know it.
Well, I don't.
Well, it's ridiculous. A user agreement. What are you going to make all your customers sign it? If you're a comedian, are you going to make all your customers sign a user agreement before they walk in?
Comedians have systems for dealing with intellectual property disputes within them. They ostracize.
Okay.
It works pretty well, and comedians don't tell other comedians jokes too often as a result.
I mean, is the sentiment that I put on the shirt there, is it accurate? I mean, that would be the first question that I would ask, because you're saying that, you didn't necessarily agree with the sentiment, but I think that the way I phrased it is,
can you repeat it again?
Intellectual property is information slavery. I actually had some other people. I had some people recommend that I drop the word information and then I just say intellectual property is slavery. I didn't agree with that. I think that the word information is very important.
I think it makes it more clear.
I think it makes it also very literal, and I think it gets rid of the misinterpretation that Mark could be having, with a problem with the sentiment. Which is that if I were to say, Mark being my property is Mark being a slave.
I think what my dispute is first off, this is a T-shirt, right? So you have to keep as few words as possible on it in order to get the...
I needed it to be very slogany.
Yeah, it needs to be slogany. I'm fine with it from that standpoint. As long as we all understand what we're talking about, I'm fine with it. However, I
also, though, I like to say things that can be interpreted from many different directions.
Sure.
So I think about these things like 7 ways from Sunday, to figure out how can I say this in a way that can be interpreted by lots of different people in lots and lots of different ways.
Yep.
And that's how
more people will buy your shirt that way, too.
Well, sure, yeah.
It's information slavery because if you are copying a thing digitally, intellectual property laws essentially use the violence of the government to prevent you from copying information.
And it's also forcing that information to work for someone or something.
What do you mean?
Well, information, if you believe that information should be free, then if it's forced to be property of one person, then it is being enslaved to create wealth for
the information itself is being enslaved, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the information itself is being enslaved. The information is a slave.
I think that intellectual property laws, as they are designed here in the United States and enforced around the world, cause far more problems than they solve.
Oh, absolutely. They
However,
prohibit competition.
I would say that there's this kernel of truth around what intellectual property is. There's this sort of feeling that we have, this belief that some little piece of creativity is ours. And I can see that. The idea that the government should be instituted to enforce that feeling, I think, is completely wrong.
I can see it. I would say to those people, let it go. Okay? Just let it go. You live in a world now where copying is such a simple act.
Yeah, information wants to be free, as they say.
Yeah.
I think that what that means is that it's just hard to contain information on the internet. Right. Once it's out there, I mean, do you really, when you're sharing memes and you're copying and you're putting memes together, do you really want to hunt down every single image and look through a legal search and decide who has what and all that other thing? Once you release an image on the internet, you might as well be of the opinion it's gone and they can do whatever they want with it, like the creator of the Pepe the Frog meme.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that guy, like Pepe the Frog, is the exact opposite of whatever.
He's trying to stop it.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, he's been. He hates it.
God, that's ridiculous. Well, sorry, cat's out of the bag, buddy.
Yep, cat's
or the
out
frog
of the bag.
in this case. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom, and we'll continue on we're going to get into the sex work story here on the way. Your calls and thoughts welcome. Hour 2's next, 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire your stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Scott Bauer, and I've been a professional trader for over 25 years. I've traded for Goldman Sachs and was the first Amazon market maker at the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I'm also the CEO here at Prosper Trading Academy, the leading educational firm teaching people how to trade the markets. For a limited time, I'm giving away one of my favorite secret trading techniques used by thousands of our students every day to help build their financial future. To learn this technique right now, call my 24/7 voicemail and just leave your email address. I'll email you my free trading technique right away. Just call 1-800-228-2155. This is the very information my students use every day to invest in their financial future. Again, call 1-800-228-2155 in the next 30 minutes and leave your email address on my voicemail. That's 1-800-228-2155. Call 1-800-228-2155.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 1st, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports the U.S. military has formally ended a 70-year presence in the South Korean capital of Seoul on Friday with the opening of a new military headquarters further south in the city of Pyeongtaek. The U.S. had forces in Seoul since shortly after World War II. The new base is further south and therefore out of range of North Korean artillery. The relocation has been planned for some time, though the priority is clearly lessened with North Korea in talks to relocate its artillery and peace talks underway. Still, U.S. military brass are presenting the new base as proof of a long-term commitment to South Korea, a commitment that may not have any practical justification if the peace process is completed. The base costs $10.8 billion, and U.S. officials are emphasizing that the South Koreans paid 90% of that. Pyeongtaek is a port city on the western coast of South Korea. The new base, Camp Humphreys, is intended to accommodate 43,000 people by the end of 2022. South Korean officials have said that they are keen to keep a large U.S. military presence in their country, largely believing it is an economic boom for the host city.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports hundreds of marchers across the United States on Saturday drew thousands of protesters demanding the Trump administration reunite families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. In cities from New York to Los Angeles and conservative strongholds across the Deep South, Families Belong Together rallies drew people from both sides of the issue to more than 700 marches scheduled throughout the country. Political and public outcry against the Trump administration's policies of separating parents from children upon arrest prompted the president to sign an executive order last week saying parents and children would be kept together in detention. Administration officials have offered different explanations for how the policy would be implemented and how and when all approximately 2,300 children would be reunited with parents. Sunday's events were a call to President Trump to reunite the families immediately, cease family detention, and reverse the administration's zero-tolerance border crossing policy, according to organizers. A statement from Families Belong Together obtained by NBC News said parents should not be criminally prosecuted for doing what all parents do, which is to bring their children to safety. This horrible nightmare for families will end only when the Trump administration permanently stops his 100% prosecution policy. In New York City, about 30,000 people showed up for a march across the Brooklyn Bridge, chanting, "Immigrants built this bridge." Sweltering heat did not deter thousands gathered at the White House for one of the day's largest protests, which included many wearing white for the cause and carrying signs that read, "What's next? Concentration camps," and "I care. Do you?" in reference to a jacket First Lady Melania Trump recently wore on a trip to visit child migrants. Civil rights icon John Lewis of Georgia joined demonstrators in Atlanta and drew parallels between Saturday's protest and the anti-segregation rallies in the 1960s. Lewis said, "As a nation and a people, we can do better. Don't give up. Don't give in. Keep marching." During the rallies, the president tweeted about the current immigration laws, saying, "When people come into our country illegally, we must immediately escort them back without going through years of legal maneuvering. Our laws are the dumbest anywhere in the world. Republicans want strong borders and no crime. Dems want open borders and are weak on crime." Counter-protesters showed up at many rallies, including Washington, Phoenix, and Boston, and carried Trump flags and shouted, "Build that wall." In Alabama, one counter-protester was taken into custody after pulling a gun in Huntsville. No shots were fired and no injuries were reported, according to police. Police say the man pulled the gun when he got into a verbal confrontation with a protester.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Here is the Onion Weekend Review Transportation Edition. In Albany, a Greyhound bus crash claimed 30 miserable lives Tuesday, finally putting over 24 deadbeat fathers, penniless drug addicts, and hapless bastards out of their misery. Emergency crews at the scene of the merciful accident described the sea of fast food bags, candy bar wrappers, and losing lottery tickets surrounding the crash site as utterly tragic, adding that the scorched corpses inside the bus were, quote, only slightly more lifeless than before the deadly accident.
Evidence suggests that most of the victims suffered during the crash, and for many years before they even boarded the bus. All I can say is, thank God no one made it.
Al-Qaeda is refusing to carry out any further terrorist attacks until the U.S. mass transportation infrastructure is drastically improved, calling the country's roads and bridges a, quote, travesty, unbecoming of a developed first world nation.
We want to turn your bridges into rubble. But if we took credit for making them collapse, no one would ever believe us.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can share your thoughts with us. You can take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever you want, whether you want to talk about intellectual property or the straw and plastic utensil ban that has hit the streets in Seattle as of Sunday. You're welcome to comment on those things or whatever is on your mind if you dial in toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733, or Skype in and join us on our Skype username LRN.FM, or jump into our Discord on-air call-in line room. It's the top chat room in our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Johnson, share with us your story from apparently breaking news from the Libertarian Party's National Convention, which is where our own Daryl W. Perry is at right now. So I imagine he was involved in the floor discussion on this issue. There, you know, at these conventions, there's really boring parts where it's pretty much most of the convention where they sit there and argue and quibble over party platform issues. But this has apparently been one that generated some news coverage from Reason.com.
This is pretty major. The Libertarian Party officially supports the decriminalization of prostitution, according to a new plank in the party's political platform.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, way to take a stance finally on something that actually makes a difference.
I mean, I guess the argument would be, well, I mean, the Libertarian Party has always been the party supposedly of principle, at least once upon a time it was, where the members of the party are supposed to sign the non-aggression principle, basically, which says I don't support or initiate or advocate through the initiation of force to achieve political or social goals. So it's wrapped up in that, the support of the right to do sex work, if that's what you want to do, if it's consensual. That's sort of wrapped up in that statement. But this is them absolutely specifying a positive statement in favor of allowing that to happen.
Right. So this makes the LP the only notable U.S. political party to stand unequivocally for sex worker rights in opposition to cops caging people for consensual sex.
That's the surprise to me, is that the Green Party wasn't already on board with this.
Yeah, it's surprising they haven't said it. What is it the old Carlin saying that sex is legal, doing business is legal, but doing sex business is not legal?
I don't know if it's Carlin, but it's a good one.
Well, he didn't use such gentle language.
Yeah.
As he wouldn't.
So this goes on here. We assert the right of consenting adults to provide sexual services to clients for compensation, and the right of clients to purchase sexual services from consenting sex workers, reads the new language adopted by vote yesterday, at the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans. The convention brings together Libertarian Party members for forums, speeches, and debates, while delegates vote on proposed amendments to the party's platform and bylaws and who will be the national leaders. After some debate Monday morning, delegates adopted the decriminalization amendment as plank 2.8 of the party's platform. The previous platform made no mention of sex work or prostitution. The language of the new amendment was drafted by sex workers, and LP delegates rejected a similar amendment in order to approve the sex worker penned version. The LP's move comes the same week America's other more popular third party, the Greens, explicitly rejected a platform that protects sex worker rights.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Surprised.
In a not surprising yet still disappointing move, the Green Party failed to pass a platform resolution calling for the decriminalization of sex work. The Sex Workers Outreach Project noted on Twitter this morning. Instead, they retain their current platform, which recommends Nordic model criminalization and conflates trafficking with sex work.
Wow, what do you know? The Libertarian Party, more progressive than the Green Party.
Well,
not surprising.
This is kind of the nanny statism that goes on in Germany, where brothels are legal, but there are still plenty of people that run around saying these girls, blah blah blah. That I guess the idea is that they're being exploited by boyfriends who send them to work at the brothels, even though they have to sign pieces of paper that say they're not being exploited or whatever. Then they give their money to their boyfriends. Their boyfriends are bad money managers, or they have more than one girlfriend who does this, or whatever. So apparently, because these women are poor judges of character, because these men have no control over them, they sleep at these brothels.
Right.
Okay? It's basically a nunnery, only the opposite.
Isn't that what a nunnery is, actually?
The opposite?
I thought a nunnery was a brothel. No?
God. I swear, sometimes I work with Jerry Seinfeld. He's so out of touch.
Wait, but the question here is, was Ian making a joke?
No, I thought a nunnery was a brothel. Get thee to a nunnery? That's not a brothel. It's an actual place where nuns hang out.
Ian?
I thought it was slang for a brothel. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that there are some people who have used it in that fashion.
I'm sure they are.
Anyway, going on here, they mention this thing about the Green Party wanting the Nordic model for criminalization and conflating sex trafficking or sex work with trafficking, human trafficking. So they go on to explain the Nordic model puts more emphasis on prosecuting sex buyers than sex sellers and lets some sex workers avoid arrest so long as they do so under very specific circumstances.
All right, I am vindicated here.
Somebody on Urban Dictionary has called a nunnery a brothel.
Oh, where'd it go? I found it here for a moment, and now...
It was all in your imagination.
No, man, on the Google... Okay, I'll find it here in a moment. I apologize.
I mean, nobody's denying.
It says here there's a double meaning on enotes.com.
Yeah, I've read many of the classics. I'm reasonably well read. I got to say, I have never heard nunnery used as a aphorism for a brothel.
A whorehouse. Says here, a nunnery also means a whorehouse.
Really? Because if I told my wife I was going to the nunnery and it was either true or false, I'm not sure which one of those would be worse. Like, this isn't some kind of saving grace.
Where are you going? The nunnery, because it's none your business.
Right.
Anyway.
There you go.
In voting that ended July 1st, Green Party delegates rejected a proposed platform amendment that would add the decriminalization to the party's official platform. The measure was co-sponsored by the Green parties of Alabama, Colorado, North Carolina, and Utah, and the Lavender Greens and Youth Greens. It is the opinion that the authors of this document...
What are Lavender Greens and Youth Greens?
I have no idea.
Lavender is probably the gay greens or something. Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe.
Okay.
It is the opinion of the authors of this document that the party's current stance on sex work is morally indefensible, ideologically incoherent, and politically damaging. They suggested the amendment failed. The Democratic platform makes no mention of prostitution or sex work.
Right.
It does contain at least a dozen references to sexual orientation. The Republican platform also avoids commentary on prostitution, though it does claim that pornography, with its harmful effects, especially on children, has become a public health crisis that is destroying the lives of millions.
Yeah, so don't expect the Republicans to take up this issue anytime soon. Doesn't sound like the Democrats are in a rush to do it. At least the Greens attempted something, but unfortunately they are still in the dark ages as far as their position on sex work compared to the Libertarian Party. It's nice to see
it's funny how the
progress.
progressives, because they hate men so much, really have to kind of bend over backwards to sort of figure out, how it is that pornography and prostitution, both of which are populated in large part by women, are bad and evil and wrong. And so, they say things like, men, or as they like to call them, rapers, get a, really bad view of sex through prostitution, or excuse me, through pornography. And I mean, well, obviously there's camera angles involved in that. The sex that normal folks do in their bedroom isn't generally... It's not television worthy or video worthy. It takes a long time to put together a 20-minute video for consumption on Pornhub or wherever people are viewing these things. So I don't know. I mean, it's funny to hear these people do their very best to. Young men, if you want a bunch of available young women, as long as you can handle their yickety yakking,
don't go to the
Green
Libertarian Party meeting.
No, go to the Greens.
Which is why it's a surprise to me that the Greens were so far behind on this issue, because you're much more likely to encounter females at a Green Party meeting than you are at the Libertarian Party
Repeat after
meeting.
me. Men, or as I like to call them, rapers. And that just, when you can insert that, then you know what the deal is.
All right, 855 450 free like freedom. Join us here. It's Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
The
Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever you want. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian here.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We're talking about sex work and the surprising development that the Libertarian Party, the National Libertarian Party, apparently is the first mainish, kind of largish political party in the United States to actually openly back sex work as though it should be legal in their party platform. It was apparently just updated yesterday with that information. And the Reason.com is reporting on it, and we're going to go to your calls and thoughts here. But I do want to make sure that you know about the Blink home security system. If you've got a home, then it's a darn good idea to have it protected. You never know what's going to happen in there. And while you're not away, especially, the Blink home security system can keep your home protected by monitoring what goes on. That way you'll know, and it'll send you video clips of anything that happens in front of the Blink cameras wherever you install them. And the install is probably the easiest part of this thing. You open the box, put batteries into the cameras, and then put them wherever you want. There's no wire running through walls or any hassles actually getting this thing connected. It is super easy to do. You just set it all up with your Wi-Fi enabled device. whether it's your tablet or your smartphone. It really could not get any easier. I've been through the process. I know how simple it is. blinkprotect.com/FTL. That gets you 15% off your Blink home security system.
I have a question. So something about these. So they take very low power, correct?
Yeah. Just 2 AA batteries.
Could you stick these in your vehicle?
Boy, I don't know.
Only if it was close enough to your house that the little monitor,
it has to
link.
Right. It has to have a hub. So there's
Wi-Fi. It would have to have a connection to Wi-Fi. But what if you used your phone as a mobile hotspot?
It needs
You'd
a
have
hub.
to do some wiring.
So yeah, it has to. It's a home security system. There are systems designed for cars.
Okay, so it's not. They don't connect wirelessly. They connect through Ethernet, or is that?
No, it's a wireless camera.
It's wireless. Okay.
There's a hub in the system. So when you're setting it up,
the system itself comes with a hub that does
correct.
connect. Okay.
So the hub connects to your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And the cameras connect to the hub.
Okay.
So there's only one wire in the system. It's the power cable for the hub.
Right.
All the cameras themselves are battery operated.
Okay.
So the only way you could use this in your car would be if your car was within the range of the hub in your house.
Unless, of course, you found a way to use, like the
unless you
inverter,
operated the hub
like
in your car.
Yeah, an inverter and operated the hub in your car. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could do that, and then you could, in theory, do it with your phone, I think. Maybe that's a bit of a hack job, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Your mileage may vary on that one. Can't guarantee the system will work that way.
Because the cameras themselves probably wouldn't, since they don't require much power, and the hub is the only thing that requires power. It's not like the hub is powering the cameras.
I think, you'd be better off just buying a
vehicle.
a dash cam, because you can wire those directly into your car battery.
Yeah.
So anyway, blinkprotect.com. You go to protect your home or your small office. Go to blinkprotect.com and /FTL. So blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll save 15%. And so far, I've not yet replaced any batteries in the Blink Cam. So I will let you guys know when that happens.
Mine gets set off far more often than yours. And I still
mine,
haven't set off. I haven't changed out batteries.
And also, I want to know if you get like a notice on your app, like, "Hey, battery low," kind of.
I'll let you know.
I suspect you will,
but I'm using those crappy rechargeable energizers that I had.
They're going to go fast then.
You would think,
presumably.
You would think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're terrible in everything else, but they're holding.
So you
their own
didn't
in
use
there.
the ones that came with?
One of them came with. For whatever reason, others didn't come with.
Okay, mine came with. So I don't know. We're talk show hosts, so we get our setup for free, so it doesn't come the same way as other people's. Got it. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Ala Loca on the line in Orlando. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey there, guys. I wanted to call in and maybe trigger some people. I don't know.
Okay.
But I wanted to know your opinion on if 4th of July is a libertarian holiday or not.
Independence Day could arguably be a libertarian holiday, I think.
I'm in the fence, honestly.
Why?
Because, now that we know that words have different meanings towards others, just the way that the holiday is being carried out now, I feel like it's more nationalistic.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's definitely a holiday from libertarianism.
Hello?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of flag waving kind of attitude.
Is it Memorial Day, or is it Veterans Day, or is it 4th of July? I'm not entirely sure. It seems to be the same decorations that we use for all of them.
So on the break, I was actually commenting because Keene celebrates is probably loosely. They light off fireworks
at a baseball game.
At a baseball game, a local baseball game, and a lot of other towns are doing this as well, but celebrating on July 3rd.
Correct.
So it's not
Day
even
Eve.
the 4th of July celebration anymore. It's a July 3rd thing that they're doing, completely divorced at this point from Independence Day.
And
it's Independence Day Eve.
Independence, you could say that independence has something to do with personal independence, but it's never been about that.
No.
The Independence Day is about independent,
from the UK.
Right, from the UK, the United States from the UK. So
I wish that there was a financial Independence Day where people celebrated being debt-free.
That would be great. But trading a government 3,000 miles away for probably a government 3,000 miles away if you're in, say, Hawaii or Alaska. Why? What's all the celebration about exactly?
Well, you could argue that it's a secession day, right? That's a celebration of seceding from from Great Britain.
I think that's worth pointing out. Absolutely.
Historically, arguably, that's what the day is. I agree with you, Ala Loca. It has over the years, and this is this is our yearly gripe about Independence Day on Free Talk Live, is that people call it the 4th of July, not Independence Day. And that's an indicator that it has transitioned from a celebration of secession, a celebration of national independence, to a celebration of the nation, period. A celebration of the United States, a celebration of nationalism. And that's why that you've seen, now whether it was a deliberate decision to stop calling it Independence Day or just something that kind of happened over the years for whatever reason, you could argue that somebody deliberately made this decision of, let's stop calling it Independence Day. We don't want people thinking about independence. We want them to be dependent and love their state. Because ultimately
that's conspiracy theory, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good theory. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I was just comparing it to more of like nationalistic countries, and especially what you guys were talking about yesterday with North Korea and how they carry themselves with celebrating, and it just has a correlation to it all.
Oh yeah, North Korea is very similar. I mean, they have celebrations for their country, and a lot of so-called nations around the world have this. North Korea has the Arirang, which is their year. I believe it's every year. It could be more often, but they have this national celebration where many of the people of North Korea will work and train very, very hard throughout the year to perform at this celebration. And it is an absolutely splendid, beautiful, like very colorful, very vibrant. I watched a documentary about it, and just an amazing presentation that they put on with all kinds of, acts of strength and prowess and performance and choreography, and it's very, very beautiful. But of course, everybody's forced to perform. If you don't perform in this, you'll probably go to the gulag, or something bad will happen to your family. Ala Loco, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, or if you want to sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us like she did there, get on our Discord chat room, discord.lrn.fm.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
You have been lied to. Generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America is in the condition it's in.
You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Order now at killingunclesambook.com. killingunclesambook.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2,
Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Got some big news about Zen Magnets. They have defeated the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and it's been a long time coming. We'll tell you more about the story coming up here. I do want to let you know about liberty.menu. That's where you can go if you're a liberty-minded person. If you are an individual who is somebody who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you qualify to use liberty.menu. It is a business directory for libertarian types, and also it has events listings and digital content listings over at liberty.menu. It's free to use, so do you want some free exposure for your business to other libertarians?
Who doesn't?
If the answer is yes, then you need to be on liberty.menu, because there really is no better website for this purpose. There have been a few attempts in the past, and they just haven't been that great. Liberty.menu really is great, and it's working well. It's an easy-to-use site, and it looks good, and it's free. So go to liberty.menu. If you want, you can use code FTL and get a Free Talk Live badge for your username there, liberty.menu. As we continue here, he's Dave in Colorado Springs. Is this Dave Ridley? Hello, Dave.
Something along those lines.
Hey, Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, there is a renewed minor scandal, or at least some activists up in arms over the regional planning commissions in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, okay.
Now, the regional planning commissions I'll take almost any excuse to talk about them because they're so shadowy. I've never been to one of their meetings. Every time I've ever, I've interacted with them directly 3 times, and every time that I can recall, it involves someone threatening me over filming.
Well, wait. So I was going to say, I could have sworn I've seen you at their meetings before. What you're saying is you've never gone inside the meeting? You've just done ambush interviews outside?
I've never been to an RPC facility. I think they have meetings at their own facility.
But you've been to their meetings, because for listeners that don't know, Dave Ridley is a videographer. He's kind of an independent journalist here in New Hampshire, and he's one of the earlier movers as part of the New Hampshire freedom migration. He has kind of made a name for himself, and I'm sure a lot of bureaucrats are frightened to death of encountering you, Dave, because you actually lurk in the hallways outside of these various school board meetings and other committee meetings, and you ask these bureaucrats and politicians tough questions. And most of the time, they're very rude and ignore you or call the police on you. So you have or have not gone to these meetings and kind of tried to talk to these people?
I've only been to meetings where RPCs are present. I've never been to official RPC meetings at RPC facilities.
Okay, gotcha. So you've encountered some of the members of these commissions, but you've never been specifically to one of their meetings.
Right.
Okay.
In 2012, roughly, maybe 2013, there was this big brouhaha about there was allegations that these commissions were connected to the United Nations. And so, although it sounds like a conspiracy theory, it did at least get activists to show up at meetings and be interested in this. And they seem to be pushing this agenda of sort of having a lot of surveys, a lot of meetings where people have breakout sessions and they talk about what they want in their towns. And they seem to kind of lead the discussion along with, do you want more publicly funded transportation? Do you want more community centers? Do you want your community to be more walkable?
Right. And of course, the people who show up at these meetings are the ones that want something. They're not the ones that want to be left alone, right? For the most part, the people that want to be left alone are busy doing their own thing, and they don't have time for this crap, and they're not interested in, going to these things. And so these busybodies
who are content are not coming to change things.
And the busybodies are the ones that show up at these meetings, and of course there's other busybodies there, and between the group of them they come up with things like the master plan. And we've seen this process go on here in the Keene area, for instance. And this isn't uncommon. This isn't just a New Hampshire thing. This happens all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
With cities and their college-educated planners that know everything about how everything's supposed to be, and all these busybodies that want to make sure that we can't have any buildings more than 4 stories tall, and don't build a new tower on the ridge over there because we already have one tower there, and we don't want to ruin our view of all the trees, and all this silly crap. And the idea of controlling other people's property is what comes out of these meetings.
But anyway, the latest thing is that the Regional Planning Commission in, I guess, southern New Hampshire, I guess it would be called the Southern New Hampshire Regional Planning Commission, has been doing some sort of collaboration with the town of Bedford, which is just south of Manchester, and they are cranking out this survey. But again, it falls into the same category of kind of leading questions, kind of pulling people towards as much urbanization as possible.
Yeah.
Right. The new thing is that urban areas, cities are now ecologically more friendly because you concentrate the humans in one place, and rather than I don't know, people having trees on their property or whatever. Now we stick them all together in giant towering concrete tombs, and that's better.
So it seems like the common denominator here again is that the grievances would be, first of all, they're kind of pushing an agenda of urbanization, and secondly, again, it's the regional planning commission sort of muddling around in town government when the RPCs are, I guess, not elected.
So they're appointed
by whom?
I forget, but they go back to the 60s. The regional planning commissions did not exist before the 60s. And the question I always ask when I see these people, we've already got, 5 layers of government above us, or 6? I lose track. Why do we need a 7th, right? Or why do we need a 6th if we have 5?
So this sounds like something that maybe was authorized at the state level. Probably, if it's going to go away, it would have to be deauthorized, likely at the state level. That would be where some form of political action would likely have to come into play. Some state representative would have to introduce a piece of legislation to repeal the whatever authorization is of these planning commissions. You may want to, if this is an important issue to you, Dave, you may want to reach out to some of the Libertarian state reps and propose a piece of legislation. One of the nice things about being in New Hampshire, we've talked a lot about on the air, this New Hampshire freedom migration, which we're all a part of. We all migrated here to join with other libertarian-minded people, to do things, to get active, to help achieve some semblance of more freedom in our lifetime. And so one of the ways that people have done that is by getting active in the political system, and we actually have libertarian state reps here. Now, state reps here aren't full-time reps. They're part-time gig at best. They make $100 a year. So the best thing you can do in New Hampshire, if you want to actually see some sort of political change, and you know that you're connected to state reps, because it's easy to be, because there's 400 of them. I mean, they're all over the place. They're probably, some of them are your neighbors. And so you can connect with these people and literally hand to them a piece of legislation and ask them to submit it. And then they'll just have to look it over and say whether they agree or disagree. If they agree with it and they're willing to submit it, some will submit something they even disagree with, just because their constituent asked them to, depending on who they are. But anyway, they'll submit the thing, and then it can get voted on and discussed, because in New Hampshire, every single piece of legislation gets a vote. It gets a public hearing. So anybody who wanted to could go and talk about why these things should be abolished or why they should stick around, and it would make it into an issue. So that's what I would suggest you do about this, Dave, because you do great work, no doubt about it, standing out in front of these meetings and ambushing these bureaucrats and these politicians. And there's really some entertaining video on your channel over at RidleyReport.com where people can go and watch that happen. But ultimately, they still have their meetings, whether or not you're standing outside of the meeting. And so the only way, unfortunately, to get rid of these people would be to abolish it at the state level. So that's my suggestion, and I appreciate any other thoughts you want to share. Go ahead.
Yeah, the planning commissions would be afraid of something like that just because of the fact they get so little attention. They're able to operate with so much impunity currently that they've got nowhere to go but down in a sense. But however, having said that, if such a piece of legislation were brought forward, it needs to just repeal stuff. It does,
right.
There's not,
which is why you should write it. So if you go in there and
law that we have to live under.
Yeah. If you go in there and find the code or whatever which authorizes it, all you'd have to do is submit a piece of legislation that says whatever code repealed, and that would be the end of it. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Dave. More coming up here, 855-450 free. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
We all have heard about the benefits of fish oils, but what about the presence of heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, furans, and other contaminants found in fatty tissues of fish? GCNteam.com recognizes this risk and offers IFOS certified tested omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA, insist on IFOS omega-3 fatty acid certification. Get the best at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Take control of the airwaves here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. If you appreciate what we do on this show, and that is spreading the ideas of liberty and peace and cryptocurrency 7 nights a week on 190 radio stations from coast to coast and beyond, plus, of course, on the internet and archives and all the other different ways people can listen to Free Talk Live. If you like what we do and you want to help support it, you want us to get on more radio stations like the brand newest affiliate we have, WRKO, the humongous, successful talk station in Boston, Massachusetts. It doesn't get any bigger than WRKO, 50,000 watts day and night.
Yeah.
Day and night. It is a monster station. It's been very successful for a very long time.
What's the schedule of the show there?
We're on late Saturdays, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. at this time. We may see some expansion. Talked to the program director while we were at Talkers Conference in June and met him for the first time there, and he's seems like a fan of the show. He really likes what we do, and if he gets a chance during the week, he's going to try to get us in for maybe like an hour per night.
So RKO is one of those stations that we could do really well on, Johnson. One of the reasons is that Free Talk Live is great for getting listeners. It's great for creating discussion. It's great for getting people active and passionate. They're whipped up. They're excited. These are the things that Howard Stern did weekday mornings in New York City and then across the nation and now on satellite.
Well, he was getting people excited by titillating them, but it's a little different.
Agreed, but they were active, they were listening, they were excited.
No doubt.
People were tuning in.
Some were angry.
That happens on these little stations across America, but those little stations in many cases are like, well, I keep on getting these calls from people and they're upset about the things you're saying, and I don't have an argument for it, but I just want to run a radio station.
That doesn't happen very often.
It happens often enough.
We've only lost a handful of stations over the years.
There are plenty of people who aren't very good program directors, right? They don't understand that you want people feeling passionate about the things people are saying on your air.
Well, most of our 190 stations are smaller stations, and they've stuck with us for a long time. What you're describing is not really much of a phenomenon at all.
The Catholic station that gave up because we talked about Oklahoma banning the Satanic Church. I mean,
I don't remember that one.
Well, it was in Oklahoma.
I don't remember where that would have been in Oklahoma. I have no idea what you're talking about. A Catholic station?
It was a station owned by the Catholic Church.
Huh. News to me, dude. Must have been one I wasn't dealing with or something like that.
No, it was one
of yours. Okay, you're going to have to pull up the email to prove that one to me because I don't remember that story at all.
Okay.
So I just noticed something completely unrelated here.
Before the unrelated thing, go to the AMP program, amp.freetalklive.com. If you want us to get on more great radio stations and expose new people to the ideas of freedom and get some cool perks, the AMP program really will help us out. It's $5 a month. amp.freetalklive.com. All right. Unrelated.
Here's what you shouldn't do. Well, we already said this last week when somebody called in and gave a stock tip. I just noticed that I happen to have a tab open where I looked up that stock tip. Hopefully no one followed it.
Was this the penny stock guy?
Yeah. It's crashed by 50%. Woo! So if you follow that advice, well, we told you not to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. Now, some good news. Because every now and then we do see some good news. I like to share the good news, and this is good news about Zen Magnets, a story we've been following for years here on Free Talk Live. We can say we knew him when. Shahan Hughes, the founder of Zen Magnets, we met this guy at a Bitcoin conference. I think it was our first Bitcoin conference.
It was Bitcoin 2013. Likely it was the first Bitcoin conference ever if you don't count
Jose? Where was it?
San Jose.
Diego?
If you don't count PorkFest as a Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, we were at that conference, and there was this guy walking around with a sign on his backpack offering to sell magnets for Bitcoin at the time. And we got some from him and had him on the show, and turns out he was the founder and is the founder and still the man behind Zen Magnets, which is the only, so the last standing of the original neodymium magnet, little magnetic ball plaything kind of, well, they're not toys, but, office kind of fidget things, whatever you want to call them. Not a toy. But Zen Magnets.
I'm holding them up in front of the camera right now.
Yeah, they were attacked by the federal government's Consumer Product Safety Commission. And
by the way, the cam is at cam.freetalklive.com.
Yeah, so I'll let Shahan tell the story here. This is from his website, zenmagnets.com. Quote:
Is the camera switching, Ian?
It should be.
I don't think it's switched the whole time.
It should be switching.
All right.
But anyway. Quote, "We will not settle for any sort of stop sale of magnets that are perfectly safe when not misused. We vow to continue this legal battle until our very last drop of cash flow blood. Promised in August 2014, forecasting 95% chance of a glorious, honorable death of insolvency on the legal battlefield." This was his prediction in 2014. Last week, however, a Colorado District Court judge tossed out the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission's recall decision on due process grounds. For the first time in 6 years, we are no longer in active litigation. We won. Here are the links for the curious. He then links to the 10th Circuit Court ruling and several other reports of that.
Now, this is the country in which you live, ladies and gentlemen. The country where a businessman who knows he's right expects to lose when he goes up against the government. When he goes up
expects to just run out of money.
Well, yeah, he knew that this organization was going to come after him. He knew that they were going to just, bleed him dry, and he was going to fight to the end because he's that kind of person.
He believes in his business and what he's doing.
Yeah, he's that kind of person. He's a good American, by the standard that people would use to judge those things. But he didn't expect to win. He expected to go down fighting. That makes the government the enemy. And enjoy your hot dogs tomorrow.
We are so greatly indebted to the thousands that supported us financially and emotionally throughout this endeavor. It's really quite astounding that we've come out on the other end of this whole thing alive. Just weeks ago, we were still on our knees awaiting a potential guillotine. But forthcoming, expect new projects, products, and outlooks. To consecrate, we're reawakening the monthly contests, giving away more free magnets than ever, and resuming all projects that were on doom pause. Stay tuned, he says, at newsletter.zenmagnets.com. Back in 2012, when we were the first company to be sued for a mandatory CPSC recall prior to record of injury, we had no idea of what we were getting into. So just to be clear, what he just said there. Mandatory CPSC recall prior to record of injury. The CPSC ordered, the Consumer Product Safety Commission ordered all magnetic balls pulled from store shelves in the United States, despite the fact that there had never been any specific call against Zen Magnets. There had never been a report by anybody saying, "My child ate your magnets," for Zen Magnets. Didn't happen, but they were included in the recall anyway, despite the fact that they already had, warnings on their product and so on. But let's go on.
I think it's worth mentioning. I really love this little factoid. Balloons kill far more kids in America than little magnets ever will.
Oh, yeah.
But those are fine.
The original plan, he says, was defend ourselves in court because who needs a lawyer? Oh, ha, ha, ha. By the time Buckyballs and MagnaCube both settled with the CPSC, and by the way, went out of business, we were 2 years less naive, but no less outraged at what seemed to us to be a blatant attack on the fundamentals of consent, warnings, and democracy. We were literally the last ones standing, and, quote, "you're going to lose," was the standard line from almost every lawyer and consultant we spoke to about a prolonged legal scuffle with the big Fed CPSC. Yeah, probably.
That's how lawyers are.
Yeah.
They don't want to fight the government.
Right. Yeah, probably, we thought. Along the way, we eulogized burnt magnets, uncovered CPSC injury data dishonestly, spent 24 days in court over 4 years, all while a blizzard of legal motions flew around us. The nationwide magnet ban meant we were without income for most of 2015. After downsizing from 12 employees in a big warehouse to one loyal part-timer in a spare bedroom, 2016 was when we had our first significant victories. The CPSC's nationwide magnet ban was overturned months after the first appeal of the Zen Magnets recall was ruled in our favor. Rather unexpectedly, we've had more success resisting the CPSC than any company in 33 years. Because most of them don't put up a fight.
Why would they?
Quote from Elon Musk, "There's a fundamental problem with regulators. If a regulator agrees to change a rule and something bad happens, they can easily lose their career. Whereas if they change a rule and something good happens, they don't even get a reward. So it's very asymmetric." Unquote. That's how this game works, he says, how this game works is we have to keep winning at every stage on every front, or else the CPSC wins. Though breathing capacity returned when we defeated the nationwide ban in 2016, the CPSC still wanted to make a point of our destruction.
Yeah, they did.
Remember, what happened then, and he may get into this, was even though they overturned the ban and made it legal to sell these magnetic balls again, the CPSC kept coming at Zen Magnets specifically. So even though their ban was overturned, they still wanted to stop Zen Magnets from doing business, and that's why it continued. More on the way. Free Talk Live.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me, and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 1st, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports the U.S. military has formally ended a 70-year presence in the South Korean capital of Seoul on Friday with the opening of a new military headquarters further south in the city of Pyeongtaek. The U.S. had forces in Seoul since shortly after World War II. The new base is further south and therefore out of range of North Korean artillery. The relocation has been planned for some time, though the priority is clearly lessened with North Korea in talks to relocate its artillery and peace talks underway. Still, U.S. military brass are presenting the new base as proof of a long-term commitment to South Korea, a commitment that may not have any practical justification if the peace process is completed. The base costs $10.8 billion, and U.S. officials are emphasizing that the South Koreans paid 90% of that. Pyeongtaek is a port city on the western coast of South Korea. The new base, Camp Humphreys, is intended to accommodate 43,000 people by the end of 2022. South Korean officials have said that they are keen to keep a large U.S. military presence in their country. Large largely believing it is an economic boom for the host city.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports hundreds of marchers across the United States on Saturday drew thousands of protesters demanding the Trump administration reunite families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. In cities from New York to Los Angeles and conservative strongholds across the Deep South, Families Belong Together rallies drew people from both sides of the issue to more than 700 marches scheduled throughout the country. Political and public outcry against the Trump administration's policies of separating parents from children upon arrest prompted the president to sign an executive order last week, saying parents and children would be kept together in detention. Administration officials have offered different explanations for how the policy would be implemented and how and when all approximately 2,300 children would be reunited with parents. Sunday's events were a call to President Trump to reunite the families immediately, cease family detention, and reverse the administration's zero-tolerance border crossing policy, according to organizers. A statement from Families Belong Together obtained by NBC News said parents should not be criminally prosecuted for doing what all parents do, which is to bring their children to safety. This horrible nightmare for families will end only when the Trump administration permanently stops his 100% prosecution policy. In New York City, about 30,000 people showed up for a march across the Brooklyn Bridge, chanting, "Immigrants built this bridge." Sweltering heat did not deter thousands gathered at the White House for one of the day's largest protests, which included many wearing white for the cause and carrying signs that read, "What's next?" concentration camps, and "I care. Do you?" in reference to a jacket First Lady Melania Trump recently wore on a trip to visit child migrants. Civil rights icon John Lewis of Georgia joined demonstrators in Atlanta and drew parallels between Saturday's protest and the anti-segregation rallies in the 1960s. Lewis said, "As a nation and a people, we can do better. Don't give up. Don't give in. Keep marching." During the rallies, the president tweeted about the current immigration laws, saying, "When people come into our country illegally, we must immediately escort them back without going through years of legal maneuvering. Our laws are the dumbest anywhere in the world. Republicans want strong borders and no crime. Dems want open borders and are weak on crime." Counter-protesters showed up at many rallies, including Washington, Phoenix, and Boston, and carried Trump flags and shouted, "Build that wall." In Alabama, one counter-protester was taken into custody after pulling a gun in Huntsville. No shots were fired and no injuries were reported, according to police. Police say the man pulled the gun when he got into a verbal confrontation with a protester.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
If you're the parent of a man-child, you know how frustrating it can sometimes be. The piercing sound of his video games waking you up at 2 in the morning. His insatiable hunger and inability to cook anything for himself. The messes he makes. The stress can be overwhelming.
Something will set them off, such as their man-child will tell them that they don't know how to tie a tie even though they're almost 30. They'll start shaking them and yelling and saying, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why don't you get a real job instead of working part-time at a board game store?"
The results of shaken man-child syndrome are devastating. Trauma caused by the brain colliding with the inside of the man-child's skull can lead to cognitive disabilities, making it even more unlikely he'll finally marry the girl he's been having a long-distance online relationship with for 6 years. Or it can even lead to death.
He's not spilling cereal all over the couch or leaving his beard clippings in the bathroom sink intentionally. He truly does not know what he's doing.
For the Lab Report, I'm Stuart Adams.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username lrn.fm. Also, you can call us on our Discord on-air call-in line room. It's the top chat room if you join our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. We were just telling you about the good news about Zen Magnets. It's a company that we've been following here for years because they've been under attack by the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission. You know, that group of bureaucrats that's keeping you safe from all those evil magnet toys. Because that's what they tried to do. They tried to, and successfully did for a period of time, prohibit the sale of these little magnet balls. You might have seen them. There was a bit of a popularity boom in these things, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And that's when the CPSC swooped in with their regulatory powers and just basically literally swiped them off the shelves. They became illegal to it wasn't illegal to possess them. They weren't contraband, but it was illegal to sell them in the United States.
So close enough.
And that basically resulted in almost every business that manufactured and distributed these things going out of business in the United States, with the exception of Zen Magnets. They put whatever money forward they needed to fight this thing. They were living out of they're operating from, originally were in a warehouse. They had to downsize down from 12 employees to one part-timer in a bedroom, and were doing everything they could to stay in business and fight the CPSC to try to get this ban overturned. The good news, initially in 2016, was they did defeat the nationwide ban at the CPSC and in court, ultimately. But then the CPSC kept coming after them specifically.
Why not? Why wouldn't they?
There's no penalty for them.
Right. It costs them nothing, and these upstarts have brought a case against them and won. That's not acceptable.
Right.
We're the biggest, toughest people on the block, and we're always right. We will fight them with the taxpayers' money. We will fight until the taxpayer is broke. We will fight until they're $22 trillion in debt.
Right.
We're there? $23 trillion in debt. Who cares?
Even though
Let our great-grandchildren pay it.
Speaking of children, even though no children at any point had ever had a issue eating Zen Magnets, because that's the big fear, is that if a child eats a magnet, and then they wait for a little bit and they eat another magnet, then the two magnets could, and probably will, adhere to one another at different parts of the body, meaning that if they're in your intestines or whatever, they're
stick your little guts together.
Stick your walls of your intestines together in a very uncomfortable manner, and that could be very bad. And in theory, at some point, some kid did eat some magnets somewhere, but they weren't Zen Magnets. Zen Magnets has always had labeling, and their labeling's gotten more clear over time that, hey, this isn't a toy. You're not supposed to give it to kids. Don't give this to kids. Don't eat these things, right?
Don't forget that several kids a decade are killed by electric windows in cars.
Ooh, jeez. That's brutal.
Yeah, it's not pretty,
right?
But I'm just
far more than by eating magnets is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, balloons. These things are deadly. Lots of things.
How about swimming pools?
If you crack a kid in the skull with a baseball bat, it'll probably end them. But I have kids play with baseball bats all the time.
So back to the story here. This is from ZenMagnets.com. Their press release that they sent out last week, I believe it was. And I've been holding on to this for a few days because, again, it's an interesting story, and I'm so glad they were finally victorious. Who knows how much they had to spend on attorney's fees to get through this. Going on here. So they say the judge's recent decision was in our favor, though it wasn't exactly a knock out of the park. In fact, the decision seemed like it was designed to stir as little commotion as possible while giving us a solid victory. Instead of having to overrule the CPSC on the merits of the case, the judge threw out CPSC's previous appeal on due process grounds. The case has been remanded to the Commission for what is essentially a rehearing, but absent Commissioner Robert Adler. Though the ball is in their court, the effect of lobotomizing Commissioner Adler from the brain of the CPSC results in an insufficient majority for the CPSC to continue Adler's magnum opus on this recall front. As former Commissioner Nancy Ford puts it, quote, "From a safety standpoint, the CPSC's ineffectual regulatory and litigation strategy has resulted in opening the marketplace to companies who, unlike Zen, have no interest in promoting safe use of these magnets. Because of the agency's position position on both the regulation and the recall of the Zen product have been overruled, the market is now wide open with no requirements for safety precautions applicable to the product in place. This result is on the agency. If any injuries involving this product occur in the future, the agency must look internally for the cause. Their incoherent policies, in large part, bear the blame. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that now, as a result of the wins in this particular contest, is that there are no regulations whatsoever applying to the magnets, meaning that if you don't put a warning on there, the government won't come after you at this time. So now there's absolutely no requirements.
Yeah, I mean, basically what the government could have done is looked at Zen magnets and said, well, this is the most responsible purveyor of little shiny magnetic balls in the marketplace. Well, let's just let them be the only ones in the marketplace, and they'll continue to provide the best service and the highest.
Well, no, they wouldn't if they were the only company in the marketplace, because then they'd be a monopoly.
If the sets of rules were in place. Oh, you're just talking about economics and economic tendencies and these sorts of things. There's no guarantee that that's not the case.
What they could have done was simply have required, and I don't advocate this. I'm glad that it's actually a free market and that it's open.
Same here.
But for the regulator types out there, this is what happens when you push too far. They actually lost, and everything was wiped off the books. They could have just said, here, we like what Zen Magnets is doing with their labeling. We think everybody should have labeling. Here's the labeling that we recommend or that you need to have.
Right.
And they could have ended it there. But no, they had to go with a full-on ban. Oh, my God, these things are the most dangerous thing to children, and acted like this was a ridiculous, like some sort of insane product.
So, like it was some kind of holocaust.
Yeah.
A great reaping of toddlers.
Going on here, the final bit from Zen Magnets, quote, we remain willing to work with the CPSC to develop the magnet safety standards for which we've already petitioned, and which will be more effective and reasonable than the all-ages nationwide ban we succeeded in vacating in the 10th Circuit. As we've already been doing, Zen Magnets looks forward to providing not just the highest quality magnet spheres on the market, but also the safest in terms of sales methods and warnings. Now that the war on magnets is over, hopefully we can all focus toward the war on magnet misuse. He says, finally, magnets must be respected, but need not be feared. Thanks again, everyone, from Shahan Q, the founder of Zen Magnets. So Zen Magnets is winning. They've won after 6 years of constant conflict with the federal government's Consumer Product Safety Commission.
I'll bet he's got that feeling of like sort of walking on air. This is great. This poor guy's life has been wasted in this battle. 6 years of his life just thrown down the drain, fighting the Consumer Product Safety Commission in this stupid battle that there's no particular point in them fighting or whatever. They're just clearing up some verbiage by taking this guy's life's fortune in lawyers' fees.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he's excited to win, but ultimately, whenever you come in contact with the government, you lose.
Right. I mean, so you think he feels like he's walking on air? Because I would think it would be exhausting and like, a hollow victory at best, because he's not getting his money back. The CPSC isn't going to cut him a check for all of his time and effort,
Right.
plus damages and, ruining his business for a period of years.
Yes, I do think he's excited about it because he took the risk and it paid off. He got the result he wanted.
True. That's true. I mean, it feels like a win, but when you think about it, it really is a loss, as you pointed out, because they sucked away his life, they sucked away his savings, and they nearly destroyed his business.
Right. And
an industry.
What it provides us as probably America's premier media outlet attempting to hold every government agency accountable all the time. When you think about what I want Americans to see is, look, this organization is just flat out evil. You think it's a nation of laws, but it's not. It's just a nation of rapacious bureaucrats that get all pissed off when, oh my goodness, I wrote a little rule and somebody that wants to change one of the letters in it, and I'm gonna take their fortune.
Check them out over at zenmagnets.com. They also have their Neo balls, which are a little bit more affordable and in all kinds of beautiful colors. I'm a big fan, and they make great gifts. And there you go. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation. A difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here if you like. Toll-free number for you to join us on the radio is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype at Skype username lrn.fm. Don't forget to go check us out if you want to watch us on video. We've got our own Twitch channel over at twitch.lrn.fm. And you can, of course, watch and listen to the show there. There's a chat room built into Twitch as well. It doesn't have as much content as our Discord chat, but it is a great way to watch the show happen live. And, of course, we are here live 7 nights per week. You can follow us on Twitch, and that adds to our follower count, which means that, we got more. If we have more followers, what that means is every time we go live, if you've turned on notifications, you'll get a notification if you've got the Twitch app, or you can sign up for the email notifications via Twitch, and then it'll shoot you an email to remind you that, hey, Free Talk Live's live. Maybe you want to watch us live. Some people, listen to the podcast or whatever. But if you're around in the evening Eastern Time, 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time, you can join us live through Twitch by following us there at twitch.lrn.fm.
Even if our camera isn't switching.
Is it not switching?
It's not switching.
Okay, I could have sworn I turned that on. I'll double check that for you. But anyway, twitch.lrn.
It looks like you turned that feature on, but it's not switching.
Weird. I'll have to look into it later. So anyway, twitch.lrn.fm. You can also subscribe to us there if you've got a Twitch Prime, which means you got Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch account. Just scroll down our cam page and there's some instructions. Very, very simple. That'll help you do that. We sure do appreciate it. It's a way for you to support us on this new platform that we've been on now for over 6 months. So thank you to everybody who's been following us and such on Twitch. It is the more followers we get, the more people watching we get, the more we're going to be able to reach to the Twitch audience of, tens of millions? There's a lot of people that use this website. It's mostly a video game streaming site, and every now and then we'll actually have some game streaming going on our Twitch stream at twitch.lrn.fm. Let's go to Matthew. He's in Louisiana watching on YouTube. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all's favorite bordertarian, I believe I was called to find me a political home. But I didn't call about borders. First I called to say the horrors that the humanity, unregulated magnets. What are we going to do?
Right, the same thing we did before. It's amazing.
Oh, wait, we didn't die?
We didn't die.
Oh.
Thankfully, no.
Never mind. I was listening to my favorite conservative friends who are on your local affiliate down here, WGSO, talking about the possibility that Roe v. Wade could be reversed. And I am pro-life. I think abortion is terrible. But a complete reversal of Roe v. Wade followed by bans, I don't know. I really don't know if American women would put up with that. And I know some
if they'd put up with what?
A ban of Roe v. Wade.
Put up with it.
Which would result in what happening?
Well, it would revert to the states.
Mm-hmm.
States like Texas?
And here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Well, here in Louisiana, a lot of conservative old white men are convinced that a complete ban on abortion is the way to go.
Yeah.
But I'm tempted to think that the hands of time are double-edged swords, and conservatives are desperately trying to get a hold of these hands and turn them backwards, while progressives are desperately trying to grab these hands and turn them in what direction they believe is forward. But the problem with pushing on swords that are double-edged is you always wind up cutting your fingers off.
Yep. I tend to agree with you on this. I would call myself, I don't know that I'm pro-life. I believe that abortion is clearly and obviously the ending of a human life. But I'm not that much against the ending of human life. If you're talking about babies, young people that wouldn't have good parents in the first place, then, well, I guess you're forcing me into a pretty terrible position when I'm trying to make these decisions. I think that...
Well, I prefer to try to talk people like that into putting their children up for adoption.
I'm adopted.
I think there's some point between conception and natural birth that people are willing to settle at. Even Ireland, which legalized abortion,
recently
settled at 12 weeks. Everything after 12 weeks, we're going to have some discussions, and you may wind up being put in a cage. But before 12 weeks, it's open. And I talked to a lot of my pro-choice family members and friends, and they find that they're not all in for like 9 months, but at the same token, they find they're looking for some reasonable ground. And so I try to tell this to my conservative friends, and they're like, we don't know anybody like that.
Well, I do think, however,
Get
that
around.
any charge that has to do with murder should be handled at the state level. Murder charges are written at the state level. Homicide charges are written at the state level. They're not the federal government stepping in and talking about these things. So I think it's a state's issue. I see real problems for young ladies who might be having this issue that are currently, in some of these places where they would make this illegal. I think that the prohibition of abortion had some very bad consequences, and I wouldn't want to have to face those consequences either. This could very well happen with the Trump Supreme Court if it is stacked the way that people fear that it may be stacked.
Well, I've got good news, though. Here in Louisiana, as far as I can tell, there is nobody having any sex that I know of anymore, thanks to the Me Too movement.
Are you serious?
I'm not quite serious, but I've often wondered exactly why these women cling to the right for, and let's not call it reproductive health, please. Let's just say they're clinging to the right to engage in a behavior that they will never engage in.
What do you
I
mean
don't
by
have
that?
any idea what you're talking about. Me Too means that ladies don't want to get touched at work.
Well, have you ever heard of the fourth wave feminism? This chick named Cynthia McKenna or something like that. She was a professor who said that all sex is rape.
Oh yeah,
And
I've read that. They call it PI. Actually, what she says is PIV, penis and vagina sex is rape. I don't know what.
Right.
So this is somebody wrote a blog, and people are assigning this to everybody who's in the Me Too movement. Nah, that's not exactly right. There's a lunatic out there that calls themselves a feminist. There's probably a lot of lunatics
for sure
that call themselves feminists. If somebody calls themselves a feminist, you probably should ask them, what do you mean
what kind of
by
feminist?
that?
Yeah, define that for me. Hey, thanks, Matthew. Good call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for bringing that up. The toll-free number here. If you want to join us on the radio waves, bring up whatever's on your mind. You can do that. The number here is 855-450-FREE. It's that easy. 855-450-3733. We do consent to you calling into this radio show. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up what you want if you want. The toll free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live is brought to you by Bitcoin.com. And for a long time, we've talked about the really excellent website, SaveItPurse.com, where you can go and save big time on your Amazon purchases. You probably have already purchased things at Amazon at some point in your life. You probably will purchase things there again. And would you like to save 20% next time? How about 25%? How about more than that? You can go less if you want. It's up to you what you want to save, up to 33% off at Amazon, because you spend your Bitcoin. Now, that's what SaveItPurse.com allows you to do, is spend your Bitcoin on things you want to buy at Amazon and get a tremendous discount on it. No joke. This works. I've done it dozens of times, probably close to 100 times at this point.
Yeah, you said the other night that basically you can get 20% off lickety-split.
Within a day, usually, it goes.
My wife put something up online, and we usually do it for things that are over, I don't know, $50.
You do what? What?
We do SaveItPurse.com.
Oh, I'll do it for anything.
Yeah, you will.
On Amazon.
We generally do not. Things over $50 or whatever. She did something that we're buying at 15%. It was gone before I told her to raise it to 20.
Wow. Snapped it up.
Yep.
So what you do is you just go to SaveItPurse.com. The big news is that they're now taking Bitcoin Cash on the site. So if you're tired of the old BTC fees and the potential slowness of BTC, you can now use Bitcoin Cash directly on SaveItPurse.com. So once again, that's SaveATPurse.com. Get on over there and check it out. I think you're really going to like it. If you've been putting it off, this is a great reason to go and do it, because now, wow, okay, I actually just checked my statistics here. I'm at 139 transactions at SaveItPurse.com. Now, that's over,
Does it tell you how much money you've saved over time?
Yes, it does. I've saved $2,757.30.
Nice.
You got nothing on Chris.
Oh, because he's on there constantly, right? Ordering business parts and stuff.
He's probably
right?
done thousands of transactions,
That's awesome.
I would imagine.
That's awesome. It works. It works great. SaveATPurse.com. Let's go to Ken. He's in South Georgia, listening on the radio. Hello, Ken. Where in South Georgia are you tonight?
Actually in Jeff Davis County, Georgia.
Well, welcome. You're on the radio. Go ahead with your thoughts.
All right, okay. Y'all were talking about straws, is what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
The straw ban in Seattle.
All right, here we go. All right, now, Well, that's fine. But
No,
it's
not.
probably going to spread everywhere else. If you got paper straws that's disintegrating or plastic straws that will never disintegrate, but you put it when you leave, like a walk-in restaurant, buy a hamburger or whatever, you put it all in the same bin.
Right.
All right? So why don't you have recycles for plastic, styrofoam? I don't know what they can do with styrofoam. But you get paper, you get plastic, and then you leave it up to the people if they got enough sense to go put the stuff in the right bin.
So are you proposing that rather than the city banning the giving away of these plasticware, plastic straws, that there be a recycling program instead?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. That's what you do in most cities. Now, I'm out here in the county. I'm 15 miles from anywhere. And we actually take ours and put it over in a big dumpster, and they do what they want to with it. But if you wanted to, you could actually sort that out in a restaurant. Even if you're in a restaurant that doesn't have bins, like if you're sitting there eating on plates, etc., whatever, they could sort that stuff out too right quick.
Yeah, one of the problems with plastic recycling is that recently the value of it has gone down. Some people blame it on the Trump tariff thing. I don't know whether that has anything to do with that specifically, but the value of the recyclable plastic garbage has gone down, and now it's getting more difficult for towns and cities and counties to get rid of their plastic garbage. So, there's that problem, but recycle, if it's sorted, if somebody does the sorting for them, that's a heck of a lot of savings monetarily that they get.
Yeah, I remember watching years ago Penn and Teller's BS, which was a great show on the Showtime network in the aughts, basically, mostly. And they had a show about recycling and basically how most of it's a bunch of crap. And that was
Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Look up, I can't say the words on the radio, but it's BS, Penn and Teller's BS, and search for the recycling episode. It'll blow your mind at how many lies people have been told about recycling. I quit recycling the moment that I saw that video. I was like, my God, the government has lied to me again. I can't believe it. But they've been lying about that too. Hey, Ken, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you out there in the woods of Georgia. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. As you can tell, Ken was probably listening on a radio station, what is doing what they call delay broadcast of Free Talk Live. He was probably here in our first hour right now. You can call this show even when we're not talking about the topic that we were talking about. So it's open phones all the time here on Free Talk Live. Even if you are a podcast listener and you want to comment on something you heard us as you're driving home today or whatever, you want to comment on that, comment on last night's show, totally fine. We're always here for you. Open phones every night at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Yeah, the Penn and Teller episode was really an eye-opener because they really addressed kind of the history of the recycling program. Basically, it was a total BS make-work program created by the government to essentially create jobs that otherwise wouldn't have existed.
I think it's gotten more efficient over time since Penn and Teller did their expose. But,
is there evidence for that? Is that true?
Yeah, there certainly is if you read the articles on it and that sort of thing, which I've spent a lot of time on because I don't know that I believe it.
Because they basically said that there was only a couple of things that were actually economically worth recycling.
Sure, they said
aluminum cans.
Yeah, basically any kind of metal.
And what was the other thing? I forget. There was something else that it wasn't paper, and I don't think it was plastic. But I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. I can't think of what it would have been otherwise besides metal. Metal is certainly, there's a lot of value to. But for a while there, plastics made a lot of sense because, they were getting money for it. The problem is that there's like 6 different types of recyclable plastics, and they need to go in different bins, and they have you sorting them out for them, which is just conscribed labor. If you're willing to do it, then do it. But
another interesting part of that that was very revealing was that they looked at the question of landfills, right? Because well, recycling is supposedly one of the benefits is that you're avoiding things going into a landfill. And they talked about how landfills are actually like really smart and economical when they're run correctly, and they can be turned into things like golf courses later on. So it's not like it's totally wasted space to begin with. And then they even point out that you could, and I don't remember the statistic, it's been a long time since I've seen this, this is like a decade ago, but they actually took an estimate of all like the world's landfills and the garbage or whatever, and they found that you could like fit it into a relatively small square, a portion of a fraction of like one of the states in the United States, and yeah, there'd be plenty
something
of room.
like less than the size of Rhode Island or
Yeah,
something.
there's plenty of room for landfills.
If you could get your garbage into one of the dumpsters at the transfer station or the dump, you're in pretty good shape. They'll take good care of it, and it will, even if it gets buried in the ground, so what? Something's buried in the ground that they got out of the ground in the first place.
Right. All right, let's go to David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live on Skype.
Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Since the two of you, Mark and Ian, are still there from yesterday.
Here. Oh, I see what you're saying for yesterday. Right.
Yeah, from yesterday is the continuity of a conversation. I wanted to add a couple quick comments today.
You were telling us about your children were taken from you 11 or 12 years ago, and this is the anniversary of that.
Yeah, yesterday, July 2nd, is the day I said goodbye to him, not knowing I'd never see him again. and you got music going on there?
We do. Stand by. We'll bring you back here, and I'm not sure where you're going, but we'll find out here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live. We got room for you. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. Skype username's LRN.FM. Discord chat room for the on-air call-in line room is discord.lrn.fm.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Our homegrown small business tries to help people just like us. That's why we design and test our handmade products with great care before we introduce them to the public. You can easily find Sunny Bay heating pads on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search for Sunny Bay heating pads.
A cool guy from middle school is still sporting his fat pair of Jinkos. A stunned St. Peter's Square crowd hears the Pope getting bitched out by God, and an 8th grader caked in makeup is probably really confident. This is The Onion Week in Review. This week, a Pew Research Center poll found that the vast majority of Americans would watch a television show called Love Trap, with most saying that regardless of the show's genre or quality, they would tune in weekly to see its stars stumble into romantic triangles, double-cross one another, and contend with whatever the titular love trap refers to. true. The survey confirmed that 62% of Americans would likely watch Love Trap to see a shrewd but cold-hearted Southern belle named Tammy. 23% of the nation hoped the show would be referred to as The Trap by its most loyal fans, and 15% of respondents said they simply needed something to watch. And in this week's Science News, a biologist completes a 5-minute study of the pathetic organism in his mirror. In other news, a man confidently hits send on the worst job application a company has ever seen.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll-free in these remaining moments. We have enough time for you. Want to join us here? The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or Skype in, Skype username LRN.FM. Or join us on the Discord on-air call-in line room at discord.lrn.fm. As we continue here, you're welcome to bring up what's on your mind. David in New Mexico is on with us here. Go ahead with your thoughts, David.
So July 2nd was I said goodbye to my kids, not knowing I'd never see them again. And on July 5th, I was all happy because that was the first day, the very first hearing in the custody case that my ex had filed. I chose not to go to the court to involve them as long as we were still working together, but she decided to take it there. So she went and filed, and that was our first hearing 3 days later on the 5th. And in that hearing, where the judge, the very first thing that Judge Angela Jewell did was, coincidentally, to make something fun, Tommy Jewell is Angela Jewell's husband. He's also a judge. He was the presiding judge of the children's court. He departed there before I ended up in children's court. But and they're a black couple. It makes a difference to some aspects of the case. And ironically, coincidentally, humorously, you can see both Tommy Jewell and myself on television in the same scene in an episode of In Plain Sight. If anybody ever watched that In Plain Sight. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's just some TV show that was on cable.
Okay, so what's the point you're trying to drive at here? We don't need all this background.
There are many points, but I'm only giving you a couple at a time because that's all we have time for. The point is, my children were disappeared and without warning, and I had a hearing 3 days later and found out that I wasn't going to be seeing them for a while, and that was based on some women at the neutral corner that made various observations of my behavior and called the judge on the telephone. And the judge said, call the cops. And so they called the cops, and the cops said, there's nothing here. We can't do anything other than take your report. And the judge also told them, call CYFD, Child Protective. They called Child Protective. Child Protective said, it doesn't meet our standards. It doesn't meet our criteria. There's nothing to do. So the judge said, write me a letter. And so those women at the neutral corner wrote a letter that was not notarized. It was not an affidavit. They were not present to introduce it as evidence. And I'm sitting there as an unrepresented litigant with no court experience, not knowing that is not admissible evidence. And so the judge whips out this letter, and I have no idea.
And the judge should know better that this is not admissible evidence. But what you're saying is because you didn't have an attorney there who would have known to object about this, it was admitted.
Yeah, it was admitted, and you're right. The judge not only should have known better, the judge obviously did know better, but he was using the judge's personal agenda to allow it, because the proper behavior, the discretion, when you talk about abuse of discretion, it was an abuse of discretion for Angela Jewell to not object on my behalf, since I'm sitting there unrepresented and not knowing that even a baby lawyer, which is a term that Melanie will know a baby lawyer would know immediately to object to that on the fact that it's double hearsay. But the judge let it go through anyway, and that is an abuse of discretion. But I don't know any better at that point, and so the judge uses that letter that's not admissible, and on the basis of that letter, she orders me, like I said yesterday, to go get my head examined. So, if I had a lawyer, or if I knew then what I knew now, I would, well, first of all, it wouldn't happen because I would have objected to the hearsay evidence. Mm-hmm. Now, if they wanted to authenticate the evidence and get it admitted into evidence, if they went through that process, then what I would do is in reference to getting my head examined, I would say, excuse me, that's an unlawful, unreasonable, therefore unlawful search, and therefore I'm not submitting myself to any examining party. And if you write that order, then I will appeal your order in an interlocutory manner.
Mm-hmm. Which means to pause the trial as is, and then have that one aspect appealed up to the next court, and then resume the trial after the court rules in that particular case. Yeah, man, that is frustrating. There's no doubt about it.
And it goes on. Yeah, and it just and the kid in the meantime, a decade of. I mean, at this point, I had a similar experience, not the same. It wasn't the allegations at all. It was just an uncooperative mother. And when the children do not have a relationship with you when they're young, they often really don't care to even bother when they're late teenagers or early adulthood. And so therefore, if you can wipe out a parent's contact with their children from up until age early teens, mid-teens, you can pretty much
wiped it out for a long time. And then you may also have another parent who's lying to the children and saying, "Oh, your dad, he's a jerk, or he's a liar."
Well, I suspect that's what's going on. And the parent is probably his ex-wife is probably giving giving negative information about him to the children, because this is the woman who started the whole thing in the process. Now, I don't know whether that information is good or bad. That all we ever get is David's opinion. It sounds accurate, but I mean, this is what a judge is. We're supposed to be able to trust judges, and we can't.
David, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Let's go to Vernon. He's in New Orleans. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Vernon.
I read an interesting story about Trump. He always seems to joke about it, but he was with the North Korean leader, and he had said something to the effect of, "I wish the reporters would sit up straight for me like they do for Kim Jong-un."
Yes.
And he said he has joked, and if you look this up online, I forget what it was called, but if you look up him joking about possibly being a dictator, I'm really worried that the guy's not going to step down if he loses the next presidential election.
Well, there's been worries about that from Barack Obama and during Bush. I remember during both of those presidencies, toward the end of their 8 years, those were the rumors that were going around, was that this would be the last elected president.
Heard him talking like that. I never heard him say
George Bush wanted to be a dictator.
George Bush said, "I'm the decider."
No, he also said something about wanting to be a dictator. I'll pull that quote up.
Should be nice to be a dictator or something like that. Yeah. Look, I mean, don't worry. Donald Trump is not of an age that he has the opportunity to do anything but step down. He's probably going to roll down in a wheelchair.
Here's the quote from George W. Bush, according to Goodreads.com. Quote, "If this were a dictatorship, it'd be a heck of a lot easier, as long as I'm the dictator."
Wow.
And the laugh's in the quote, by the way. It's in there.
Well, but you got more proof of it. He met with Kim Jong-un. He's arranging a summit with Vladimir Putin. I mean, and then he's made several jokes. I wish I had more. I wish I had my source with me right now to be able to quote more of those
I
jokes.
agree. I've heard several of them. You're absolutely right.
Maybe he's just trolling.
Trump's more of a fascist, I think, that more of an overt fascist because of his gregarious and outward attitude. You get to see his fascism on display, but that doesn't mean we live in a fascist country. Just that he's a fascist.
Maybe we'll have a statue one day of Trump raising his right hand out to us, and we can go and we can bow down before it, and then maybe we'll also have his picture hung in every room in our house. And
oh man, talk about creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is what happens in North Korea, according to the documentary. I'm sure you all have watched it. It was from Nat Geo, where they went and they did the surgeries on the eyes.
Yes.
And it's very insightful. I mean, it's just scary. I just hope. I mean, I know we may not be the freest country in the universe, but I just hope we're never at a point where, like Trump is disputing elections, like fake elections, fake news.
How old is Trump at this point? How old is he? He's in his 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah.
He's got 6 years at this point. He's going to be a blithering idiot by the end of his term. He was the oldest person to take office in U.S. history.
He's been eating hamburgers and hot dogs and Cokes his whole life, it sounds like, and he's doing all right thus far. You never know. But
72.
anyway.
Was born in 1946 in
He's going to be
June.
78. I'm not worried about a 78-year-old taking over the White House.
Vernon, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate the discussion. But yeah, the fear about, oh no, it's the last election that we're ever going to have. This president's going to cancel the elections and they're going to take over and it'll be martial law. Well, it is martial law. I mean, it's the government can do whatever they want with their police state. But ultimately, they want to continue the illusion of the elections, to continue to make people think that there is some kind of a choice that they actually have, when, of course, whether it's the Republican or the Democrat who ends up getting elected, you tend to see the government get bigger and more oppressive. According to People Magazine, people.com, this is from June 15th, quote, "He's the head of a country, and he's the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same." That's the Trump quote, referring to Kim Jong-un. Following the interview, Trump he claimed that he was asked what he meant by that, and he says, "I was kidding. You don't understand sarcasm." That's what I say, man. Maybe he was just trolling. He's pretty good at trolling people, right?
There's no doubt.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow online in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
Temporarily from the Libertarian National Convention in New Orleans, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 1st, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,253 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports the U.S. military has formally ended a 70-year presence in the South Korean capital of Seoul on Friday with the opening of a new military headquarters further south in the city of Pyeongtaek. The U.S. had forces in Seoul since shortly after World War II. The new base is further south and therefore out of range of North Korean artillery. The relocation has been planned for some time, though the priority is clearly lessened with North Korea in talks to relocate its artillery and peace talks underway. Still, U.S. military brass are presenting the new base as proof of a long-term commitment to South Korea, a commitment that may not have any practical justification if the peace process is completed. The base costs $10.8 billion, and U.S. officials are emphasizing that the South Koreans paid 90% of that. Pyeongtaek is a port city on the western coast of South Korea. The new base, Camp Humphreys, is intended to accommodate 43,000 people by the end of 2022. South Korean officials have said that they are keen to keep a large U.S. military presence in their country, largely believing it is an economic boom for the host city.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
UPI reports hundreds of marchers across the United States on Saturday drew thousands of protesters demanding the Trump administration reunite families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. In cities from New York to Los Angeles and conservative strongholds across the Deep South, Families Belong Together rallies drew people from both sides of the issue to more than 700 marches scheduled throughout the country. Political and public outcry against the Trump administration's policies of separating parents from children upon arrest prompted the president to sign an executive order last week saying parents and children would be kept together in detention. Administration officials have offered different explanations for how the policy would be implemented and how and when all approximately 2,300 children would be reunited with parents. Sunday's events were a call to President Trump to reunite the families immediately, cease family detention, and reverse the administration's zero-tolerance border crossing policy, according to organizers. A statement from Families Belong Together obtained